Sacred Canopy by Peter Berger discusses his theory of social construction and how social worlds are constructed and maintained by human activity. This world that we have created through our human activity is referred to as the nomos. Specifically, Berger speaks of externalization, objectification, and internalization. Externalization is the initial thought that one has about a certain object or view. At this point, Facebook would merely be a thought. The person has simply begun to come up with the concept of Facebook, but it has not yet been created. Objectification is the point where the initial ideal becomes an actual object. In this case, the Facebook app would now be a feasible object which is now used by people daily. Because of the objectification of the Facebook app, people are now internalizing it and making it a part of their daily lives. Anomie is defined as any factor that can threaten the nomos. Facebook creates anomie when fake news stories pop up on the app. Because users have internalized Facebook so deeply, they will believe the stories on the app before taking the time to actually research what is being said. This creates anomie because millions of users will believe stories and situations that disrupt the normal order of society. Similar to Facebook, religion creates anomie within a nomos by creating divides in our country on several cultural issues. This directly shapes and affects our culture because when people start to disagree, specifically in religious issues, things become chaotic and our culture is affected by that. Alienation occurs when a person uses Facebook because everyone else is doing it. This is seen in religion because people will believe what others have told them without stepping back and internalizing it for themselves. When people recognize that Facebook is not a necessity in life, they are partaking in de-alienation. The person will realize that Facebook is not needed for society to work and that anomie can be created from it. This affects culture when someone goes against the status quo.
Next, we will be discussing Richard Hughes's theory of America as a Christian nation. The internalization of Americans has caused belief that America was the chosen nation. This is vastly due to internalization. Many Americans believe that we are a Christian nation because the idea of God is alluded to in our money, the Pledge of Allegiance, and oftentimes presidential speeches. All of these objectified externalizations have caused the American people to excessively internalize this idea of being a chosen Christian nation. While this may seem harmless or possibly positive, it has actually impacted American culture for the worse because it has created a great divide in the country. Many people believe that America should not be considered a Christian nation because we do not reflect typical Christian values. Examples include going to war, our history of slavery, and most recently, the issue of police violence. This shows how religion greatly impacts our culture.
God of the Oppressed, written by James Cone, discusses the differences between white and black theology. Due to the divide created by America as a Christian nation, a divide has also been created between blacks and whites. Cone thinks that, biblically, God is only a God of the oppressed. White people cannot consider God to be their God because historically they have always been the oppressors. This divide between theologies causes both black and white people to have their own nomos, which is very difficult given the fact that we are also supposed to live under the same nation in harmony. Cone argues that white theology creates anomie within black theology because whites have been the oppressors for centuries. Because of this, according to the Bible, they are not able to say that God of the oppressed is their God as well. Black theology causes anomie in white theology because white theology is then being threatened. Culturally, this furthers the already deep divide in the country because each theology threatens the other one. In conclusion, religion plays an essential role in the creation and maintenance of culture. Because religion is so deeply embedded within culture, it is fair to say that it would be nearly impossible to have one without the other, and therefore religion and culture mutually interact to shape and inform one another.